Hey man, you got the P0420 or the P0430 code? Well, that's good, because I'm about to teach you how to diagnose that code and get it fixed. So, P0420 and P0430 refers to the catalyst system. Something's not right. It might be anything from the spark plugs to the O2 sensors to some type of leak somewhere to the actual catalytic converters. Hopefully, it's not the catalytic converters, because that's the more expensive thing to fix. So P0428 on a F-150, I have a 2014 F-150 3.5 Ecoboost. It's the Platinum Edition, four-wheel drive. The P0420 is the passenger side, bank 1. P0430 is bank 2, which is the driver side. Real quick, let's take a look at what's going on with a scan tool. I'm going to look at bank 2, sensor 2. This is the reason the code is getting thrown, because you can see it's just shooting up and down, up and down. If I would measure, or if I would do analysis on sensor 1, that's the sensor before the catalytic converter, this would be normal. But being that this is sensor 2 behind that catalytic converter, the line going up and down tells me the catalytic converter is not doing its job. But you don't need the scan tool. You could actually do this with, you could actually test the catalytic converter with a infrared thermometer. I bought this in at Harbor Freight. It does great. I think it's like 15-20 bucks. But this is all you need to test your catalytic converter. I'm going to show you how to do that. When the exhaust goes through the catalytic converter, it should be colder going into it and warmer coming out of it. If the exhaust going through the catalytic converter does not heat up, your catalytic converter is bad. So let's go ahead and take a look at our catalytic converter and see what's going on with it. Okay, make sure your engine is running, and this is the exhaust going from the engine into the catalytic converter. You can see it's around 320 degrees, and if the exhaust going out the backside is colder than that, then the catalytic converter is bad. Just make sure your engine is at the operating temperature, and as you can see, it's definitely colder than 320 degrees. It's fluctuating from I think it was like 200 to 300, so it's definitely colder coming out the backside. That tells me the catalytic converter is bad. All right, so we on the passenger side right now. That's going toward the front of the vehicle, so let's get up in here and shoot it right there. So it is showing about 230 going into the catalytic converter, and then let's go out right here. So as you can see, it is hotter coming out the catalytic converter than it is going in. So now we know that the driver's side catalytic converter is definitely bad. So I purchased the MagnaFlow catalytic converter. I bought it from AutoZone. It is like, I think I paid like after tax on like $290 something for it. So I get the direct fit. I could have got the universal one and had like a muffler shop put on, but that they would have charged like $1,000 or something like that to put it on. And me, I personally believe if you want something done right, do it yourself. So after my truck cools off, we're gonna get this thing put on. All right, so we need to work on getting the catalytic converter out. I wish you could see it better, but so we gotta get, there's a flange up there. We gotta take those two out, and then we gotta take this one right here off. So the O2 sensor wires runs from down there, and it comes up under this cover right here. So we need to remove the cover. You need to unplug it, because if you don't, when you unbolt it, it's just going to fall and rip the cords. So you need to unplug it. So it comes, I don't know if you can see it, but the wire comes up and is connected right there. So you have to unplug that. Another real quick thing, the aft O2 sensor, don't forget to unplug that. And then once you unbolt that and them two up there, then you could pull it out. So since my O2 sensors are good, I'm gonna reuse them. I bought this right here from Harbor Freight. I'm sure you get it at any auto parts store, but it just slips over like that, and that way it protects the wires. Slips over like that, and then unscrew it like that. I'm going to impact it off. Hopefully it'll do well. But first I'm going to spray some WD-40 all on them and let it sit for a while so I don't strip it. Now that I have these taken out, I am going to clean them. Look how bad that looks. So I got them cleaned up pretty good. A lot better than they were. I used this right here, mass airflow sensor cleaner. I find it way easier to use one of these tools right here to take the flange off, especially on the back side. And your O2 sensor, hold on just a second, let me get it. So the O2 sensor that goes right there, don't put it in until after you have that flange tightened. So I got her put it all back together. Let's get under here, see what we got going on. That's it. Yep. Got the flange up there real nice and tight. Got those two sensors hooked up, tightened down. Let's start her up. Here we go. Time to start her up and see. Make sure it's not leaking or anything around here. Make sure that flange up there is not leaking. I'm gonna let it warm up to temperature, and we're gonna look at the test and see. We're gonna look at the voltage and the percentage and see where they at after it warms up the temperature. So. All right, now let's take a look at our sensor voltage. Let's go back to bank 2, sensor 2. Let's take a look at the volts. We got the vehicle up to temperature. And see how now is pretty much, it stays pretty steady. It's not bouncing all up and down like it did before we replaced the catalytic converter. So that is pretty much it. Pretty easy. I mean, I called some dealerships and they said, not dealerships, I called some muffler shops, and they were going to charge me around $1,000 to do this, and I just did everything for like $300, so can't really beat it.